So welcome back to DC Silver Age Storytime, and today's story comes from Action Comics number 286 from March 1962 with story by Jerry Siegel and art by Jim Mooney. You must be mad, Supergirl. Luthor's dead. No one can bring him back to life, not even you with your fantastic powers. You may be right, but though it seems impossible, I'm going to try. Because Superman has again and again thwarted arch-criminal Luthor's attempt to rule Earth, the scientific genius with the twisted mind is obsessed by a mad hatred of the Man of Steel. Yet, amazingly, the day actually dawns when the king of crime loathes Superman, or someone even more than Superman, and that person is none other than lovely yet super powerful Supergirl. How did this come about? Find out for yourself as you read one of the most startling, surprise-packed Supergirl adventures of them all, entitled The Death of Luthor. So we have Supergirl and her family, along with Dick Malvern, watching TV and the amazing exploits of Supergirl. Dick says, "Gosh, she's got everything. Don't get me wrong, Linda. You're tops in every way, too. But, of course, you don't have superpowers. Ha ha." What a jerk. So they're sitting around the table, and Dick says, "Linda tells me your wife is a wonderful cook, Mr. Danvers." It's a very 1960s conversation, and Supergirl prevents the pot from boiling over or something. And then we could go to Lex Luthor, who's in jail. "I'm here because I boasted I'd escape within 48 hours, and I will." So he drinks a formula that includes mouthwash, a cup of orange juice, and 2 aspirin tablets. Down she goes. Haha, the chemicals and acids in this drink will help me out of this accursed prison soon. Very, very soon. And then he starts putting together some radio parts, and then stands outside, and his plan is okay, so he becomes invisible because of a whole convoluted thing here. As I planned, the vibrations of the prison siren noon signal amplified by my radio parts transmuted the concoction I swallowed into an invisibility serum. Haha. And so then he escapes and goes back to his gang. Boy, I sure miss the boss. Now that Superman's gone, if Luthor was out of stir, he'd fix Supergirl fast. So Luthor shows up invisible, and then makes himself visible. Ha ha ha! Hello, pals. I told you no prison cell could hold me. How'd you like that invisibility gimmick? Good, huh? Welcome home, boss. Terrific, terrific. So they decide to go after Supergirl because Lex Luthor believes that she is a fraud, which makes that it completely goes against what happened just a few stories earlier when he met Leslie Lar posing as Supergirl. So this is a massive plot hole, made all the worse by the fact that it is the same writer. So Supergirl is out on patrol. She sees a cop and decides to hide and thinks, "Oh, wait a second, I don't have to hide anymore." "Hi, officer." "Hello, Supergirl. You're on your patrol." "Well, I'm on mine. I sure wish I could fly like you. It would be easier on my feet." So she continues on and gets blasted by this cannon. Holy cats, you electronically moved aside those fake rocks and made the buried big gun blast away at her. But the bursting shells aren't harming her. She's not a robot, or she's a really durable robot. So she goes and smashes it. And Lex is still unimpressed. So what? With my great knowledge of psychology, I'll destroy her by playing on her feminine traits. So they go in and decide to rob this bank, but in Luthor style, they use a shrinking ray. But he says, however, Brainiac's ray affects whatever it strikes permanently, while my rays affect only temporary. But they make it small, but apparently the same weight, so he has to use these anti-gravity tongs. So they go out at night to, I guess it's, oh no, he uses a gaseous darkness, some kind of darkness bomb. But she shows up because, of course, she has X-ray vision. She can see in the dark. But she spots a baby carriage rolling down this hill, and she decides that that's more important. So she takes flight. The buggy's bouncing along down a steep hill. It's sure to overturn unless I stop it. But it turns out the baby is a midget with green kryptonite, and he throws it out. And the woman was also part of Luthor's gang. Throw off those disguises, men. I knew Supergirl wouldn't overlook a baby's peril. How simple it was to destroy that mere girl. He really has very little respect for her. So she says, "Oh, the kryptonite radiations are weakening, killing me. I've just enough strength to unscrew this free hydrant cap." So she doesn't have enough strength to crawl away, but she does have enough strength to pry open this very difficult to open hydrant, and the water washes it away. The shrinking effect's wearing off, and the bank is growing back to its normal size. Come on, men, hurry. So the police are chasing after, and Supergirl comes along. So Luthor pulls out a gun. "Blast her! No mere girl can make a fool of me." Well, she's Supergirl. Here's something she didn't count on. This nuclear kryptonite ray gun will steal away her power. Rendered vulnerable, she'll fall to her death. But he accidentally skids and shoots himself and kills himself. Luthor's dead. Pete, radio for an ambulance to take him to the morgue. And they get a little recap of just what a pain in the butt he is. But for whatever reason, Supergirl decides she must try and save his life. Luthor shouldn't be allowed to escape his life-term jail sentence, except he escapes every few weeks. Through death. Give me a few minutes, I may be able to return him to life. So she says, "During a recent visit to Atlantis, I learned of an isotope element that may counteract the type of nuclear stun shock that killed Luthor. Admittedly, it's a long shot." So she goes to Atlantis and asks for isotope element Z. "Come on, we'll equip some of our giant seahorses with isotope counters and begin searching in a region where we suspect it may be found." So they go out, and she finds it with her microscopic vision. "Let me thank you. Behold, you've uncovered the shrine of heroic Gar Rindaz. Ages ago, he tied a super explosive to himself, then attacked a sea monster menacing Atlantis, destroying the creature and himself. The ship settled on the..." I don't know why we care. So she decides she needs something else, and goes to this planet. "This planet has a crystallized atmosphere. I'll burrow down through the crystal and get that weird flower which my microscopic vision reveals possesses another element I need." But she gets attacked by a robot ship. This planet's atmosphere was transmuted into crystal during a space war that may have occurred eons ago. These robots are mechanical soldiers left over from that war. They think I'm the enemy. This equipment is simple to understand. Flipping the switch will undo the harm done to the world. That's very simple. Wonderful. By flipping the switch, I activated a device which caused the crystal to dissolve back into a normal atmosphere. Once again, the evolutionary process can begin again. So she wraps him in these fibers of the two rare elements, like a cocoon, and he pops out. Great Scott! He was dead, but now Luthor's moving. He's sitting up. Yipe! He's alive! He's alive! "Supergirl, blast you! Why didn't you die?" "What a rotten way to talk, Luthor. She just brought you back to life. Where's your gratitude?" "What? This miserable female..." He's a real misogynist. "Brat saved my life. Give me that machine gun." "Have you gone crazy? You actually hate her for bringing you back to life?" "You made me live again, so I'd be a gangland laughingstock. Before I was respected. Now the other criminals will laugh at me behind my back because I was saved by you. Drat, the bullets only bounce off." "You're wrong, Luthor. I did it so you'd finish paying your incomplete debt to society." "You lie. I even loathe you more than Superman." "Please return the stolen bank building to Metropolis, Supergirl, while we take Luthor back to prison." Shortly, at a hastily called meeting of gangland big shots. "Let's not fool ourselves. Any girl who can make a monkey out of Luthor is dangerous. She's a tough as foe as Superman. And in the Danver home, I'm so proud of you. You're not only the most famous girl in the world, but a darling daughter." Oh, I'm so happy to operate openly. I didn't think this was a great story. It just was all over the place. I don't know. Maybe some people like it, but it needed to be tightened up quite a bit.